They know.
Welcome to NFT Game Day, where we talk about NFTs and games. This is our dear friend, Lisa Chandler. She's part of the KROWN DAC, DACATHON Super Collective. You guys know I talk about the uplift all the time. It was in conversations with people like Finney and Dr. Wayne, who's working with us now, and Lisa and Max Infeld from KROWN and their whole team that really fleshed the idea out and made it to the point where I realized other people might get as excited as I was about this, and made me hit the grindstone running to make sure that we put a team together to get it done. So we're gonna go in game and we'll do some gratitudes in a second. But Lisa, like that, I personally am grateful for you just for that, because this is clearly going to be kind of a big deal. Anyway,
Aww, that's so sweet.
It's just, we've met amazing people, so it's just it's a whole thing. Oh, hey, you guys want to see the NFT Game Day thing?
Sure.
The bubble, I'm not 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 the bubble.
I had way too much fun making that.
Corey, I woke up in the middle of the night one night singing that song, like it just came into my head. That's when I knew I was in trouble. In the virtual world forever. Oh, so sweet. Such an honor to be on the wall.
All right.
It's an honor to get to put things on the wall.
Speaking of which, what would you like on the wall this morning?
KROWN. Grateful for KROWN. KROWN. Where it all started for me. We have amazing community members.
Agreed.
They make the day so joyful.
Jimmy, how about you?
I'm grateful for positive thinking, forward communities, forward-looking communities, positive thinking, forward-looking communities.
Positive thinking.
That's the acronym coming.
Forward looking?
Yeah, sure. I might have messed that up, but that's good.
That's all right.
That's it.
I'm just gonna go JD. Right out of space.
There you go.
Yeah. So before we get started, there, obviously KROWN is included in that because you guys are doing a plethora of stuff. Also, Uplift Art. I mean, it's amazing. I'm not even sure if he's in the comment section, but I just want to extend a personal thank you to Bitcoin Blues Brothers again. That guy is one of our greatest communities and members in Uplift Art, and he's always, giving it all to make our community great. And it's because of people like him that I love it. Right? I'm sure, Lisa, you have some people in your community that are like that as well. But yeah, he's just amazing. And another shout out that I kind of wanted to give was to Ken Bozak, one of our favorite people in the space when it comes to NFTs and everything that he's done, and since early days. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to his Telegram channel, please go in and subscribe, because he unfortunately somehow probably not sure all the details, but lost his Twitter account. So if you want to follow him and know what's going on, make sure you jump on his YouTube and follow him there for a while. I'm sure he'll get it back. I mean, we've all lost our Twitter accounts. I have anyway. It really sucks. So yeah, he didn't disappear. He just, you know, got taken out by the man.
Taken out by the man.
I don't know. So, but yeah. I actually, you know, don't even know that much about you, Lisa. Like, I know a little about Krown. I did an interview a long time back, I think around the first DACATHON time, with Max Infeld. Corey, you know, has had conversations with you before, but maybe if you could introduce yourself to me and the community, that would be really cool, because I'd, you know, like to have a little bit of an understanding about you personally.
Sure. Hi. I feel like I know you guys already because I watch you every morning, but I guess you don't know me usually because it's one way most of the time, but I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me so much. So I am Lisa Chandler, and I got involved in the KROWN community a couple of years ago now. My brother is Max Infeld, and he is one of the founders of the KROWN token and DAC. And he's always had the wisest advice of anyone I knew. So I followed him into the community, and it's been amazing. I mean, the combination of Telegram and the ability to create a DAC. I think KROWN DAC was the first on the EOSIO chain after EOSIO, something like that. But anyway, very early and all about experimentation and the ideals and understanding what the community might want. So the DAC Factory software has allowed us to set up as a DAC, which doesn't seem like you need it at first, but it's really cool because people can get their tokens and vote based on that. And the votes can cause actual actions, not just like statements that someday something will get done. So people can do, you know, projects and propose them and get approved and earn tokens. And, you know, it really helps to facilitate that working community, but with what the community wants to do instead of some, you know, other entity. So it's been really fun getting to know people all over the world in the communities. I have a long history of fundraising of various types for organizations, for companies, you know, setting up sales and all sorts of money flow. And so it's really exciting to think about how that could apply to individuals and how we could use, you know, these really great, you know, conscientious people from all over the world to come together and build better systems that are more equitable for everyone and that make our days more joyful. And so that's really the essence of what we've been doing the past couple of years. And some of them, like Max and Dwayne, who, you know, were there from the beginning, I think that's maybe another year or so even before that, and, you know, a lifetime of getting here. So anyway, that's in a giant nutshell.
Well, I mean, to me, that sounded pretty short. I mean, like that's short for me. But I want to say,
go on forever.
But sometimes we have some issues. But I mean, we try to interact with, you know, the people in the community chat. So yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, don't worry. We know you.
We know you.
You know where to find me.
What just happened? Did I lose you guys?
Nope. No. We're here.
No, we're here. I think we were waiting for you to say something.
Pause. So, yeah, I think it's. I remember the idea of DACs first hitting EOS in general. And there weren't very many back in the day on EOS. I think Krown was one, Vigor was another one. It was kind of like a relatively new idea. And I remember like the DACATHON, the first DACATHON that came out. And I know like Max, when I interviewed him, it was a while ago on Boydcast. It was around the time, like just after that first DAC had finished, the DACATHON had finished. And it was pretty cool. But like, yeah, so you guys have got your hands in like all sorts of like crazy stuff. It's like digging through everything that you guys are involved in. And I mean, I guess from my understanding, the whole point of, you know, Krown is to become a community, you know, a forward-thinking community in a way, right? Like a community that connects people to value, a community, like you have your own token, you have all of these like different moving parts, right? Like, I guess you got Krownlandia, you've got the KROWN DAC, you've got the MetaDAC. I'm not really even still sure what the difference between the MetaDAC and the DACATHON is, but anyway, and like there's a few other things that you've got as well, like even just like weird random stuff like Lisa's coffee shop, right? Like there's like some really interesting Telegram channels. So I guess, you know, my question is, like, to me it just seems like you guys are really focused on like what is your, I guess, what is the focus of what you guys are trying to do? What are you trying to achieve with your community? What are you trying to bring to the ecosystem? And why, I guess?
Well, it's really interesting to hear your thoughts about it, because I think at the core of the Krown values is that it's up to the community. So whatever the people in Krown want to do guides what it is. And of course, there's some people that are more active than others. And I think at one point I realized, hey, I'm one of those people. What do I want to do? So at first, you know, it was a lot of pondering about decentralized communities. What does that mean? What does it mean to be like able to do things not just as an individual or as an organization or a company, but as a group of people who have agreements, who have, you know, smart contracts, essentially, right? But, you know, for us lay folks, agreements and willingness to do things together. So from that, things have emerged over time. But my take on it, which might be different than others, so this is just my opinion, but to me, Krown is rewards. And the rewards are to reinforce positive, like Corey says, I've been using this all week, meaningful actions. But to encourage people down a path that they might want to go and figure out what that path is and provide rewards along the way, right? I mean, I feel like I've lived in a world of negative reinforcement at every turn all throughout my life, everywhere I go, everywhere I work, every day, every situation. And I personally want to build better worlds. And so how do we do that? And I remember from neurology class that negative reinforcement is 1.5 times as positive or as strong as positive reinforcement. And so if you want to really affect positive change and even show people that they can have a better day and enjoy their actions more, it's got to be through more rewards, at least 1.5, or let's say 2 times as many positive rewards as negative. So when we're in our Telegram group, Max and Saeed created this tip bot where you can tip Krown, and we reward creative actions if people add things or want to create a new channel or start sharing a particular type of content, whatever they want that fits with the community, then they get rewards. So, you know, we give rewards all day long. And one day I said, hey, what would you guys want to put in an ideal town? Like, it just was a thought. And people started responding, and they kept responding all day long. It was like 12 hours later, Max was like, hey, do you want to create a separate channel for this? So that was the birth of Krownlandia. I mean, it was such an organic creation. Like, people really wanted things in their ideal town. And, you know, to do that in real life would be, you know, tens of millions of dollars and not accessible to most of us, or for any of us, actually, maybe, you know. But in our imagination, we can do anything. And we're adding rewards for spending time doing that. And all of a sudden, there's like this positive ecosystem happening. So one of the first places, it may be the first active place in Krownlandia, in other words, like manifested into something you could do, not just in our imagination, although it's still close, but a Telegram group. And we've tried a few different experiments along the way, but currently there's stickers for coffee, and you can order your coffee, and Mr. T, who manages it, will give you a tip. And so instead of having to go pay to get coffee, you get rewarded for your time when you stop by. And if you want to add some meaningful discussion, you'll probably get a whole lot more tips too. So it's super. And I just know we have like 240 or something members of the coffee shop, and like 106 of Krownlandia. So it just goes to show you, even in our micro experiments, that when there's an actual something that someone can do, it's, you know, they're more likely to do that than just the theoretical. So that's, I'll tell you about MetaDAC too, because this was another really fun thing we did. And this is really when I got thrown into things, is when that first MetaDAC started. June did a worker proposal with Max and Dwayne, and I get on a call to talk about this event that we're gonna have. And little did I know, it would consume, I think it was 2 months of my life straight through. It worked out, but it was a 2-week event that included all sorts of discussion about decentralized communities, and about and then a hackathon portion to create projects. And you know, it was pretty new to me, but I was meeting all these extraordinary people in our community, and I had no idea what anyone did or who they were or what their history was. And, you know, now when I look back, it's what a privilege and a blessing to be able to do that, because it was really fun for 2 weeks. And during that DACATHon, we actually created a DAC. I think, Corey, that's how I know you from back then too. If I'm not mistaken. I know I got on a call with EOS USA Michael, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's you. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I recognize your face from DACATHon, but I didn't recognize, you know, like, I didn't put it all together that you're the person in the Alien Worlds group admin, you know. So it's really fun to see everyone out in the wild now. Corey, were you going to say something?
No, I just that I remember, you know, the stuff you guys were doing, and I was impressed even back then, and it just seems like it's getting bigger. Well, there's more stuff. About 40% of it is the uplift, which is, I mean, Jimmy and I were talking about that before coming on. Obviously, you know, our show is basically getting taken over by the DACATHon that week, which I'm a huge fan of. And, you know, we're just going to be focused on all the goings on. Like, it's a big sort of distributed, you know, event, right? So we get to kind of, you know, give as many updates as we can about the day before, and really tie into it, which I just think is a really, really good thing, just selfishly for Jimmy and I, for our show to be able to do, is really awesome. But then, you know, we got like round tables and discussions on all sorts of things, and, you know, tours of the uplift, and, you know, discussion about, you know, all the stuff about the uplift, and like tours of Krownlandia and the uplift probably by then. Like, it's going to be, I don't know, man. I get a little verklempt, frankly, because like in my wildest dreams, I thought, man, this community should have a place, and it could just be this Minecraft server, and we could make it really cool. I wasn't like, if you'd asked me 2 months ago if I thought it would be working this well in 60 days, I would have laughed until I peed myself. But here we are.
Just wait, man. Just wait.
That's a thing. I have a friend who does that on a regular basis. Like, you know, she's pretty funny, so she makes herself laugh sometimes.
Wasn't sure where you were going with that one.
No, I like.
Well,
I think. Yeah, I think that's one of the most amazing things for me. I gave a little bit of a gratitude today. that isn't on the wall. But like, you know, there's so many great communities in the EOS space, and when those communities cross, a lot of times magic happens, right? And this is something that I remember from the early days of the EOS mainnet, right? You know, before the bear. And it's still there. It's still buried deep within the community that is here, the community that is present, the community that is interacting in positive ways. And I think, you know, little events or little kind of communities are no longer just communities anymore. They are communities that are parts of other communities, and they're all bringing these communities together. And you know, I didn't know what was happening with the uplift, for example. And like, once I found that out and once I saw how it worked, like, I'm actually kind of blown away. Like, I'm just like, you know, blown away that there's so many people that want to interact. And I'm sure, like, you know, Lisa, you figured this out with KROWNDAC as well. Like, there's a lot of people, like, everybody kind of, you know, knows who Krown is. I think a lot of people do. But you know, for me, I didn't know about it until the DACATHON. And I was privy to a different DACATHON in the EOS community. And that's kind of the same thing for me. The idea of like just having this massive event where everyone can come together. It's kind of like the blockchain version of, like, you know, your boring business conference. Like, except like you get to tune in like online from the comfort of your own home and like meet interesting people and see interesting things, right? Which I think there's a lot of power in that idea.
Agreed. Yeah, I was just letting everybody know.
I mean, that first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, sorry. No, I'm not gonna. I don't pay attention to price stuff, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, we need to talk about that, because that, like, because I've been, so yeah, don't look at it if you don't want to, but I was thinking yesterday, because I know Max kind of said the same thing. We were talking about Krown, and you guys are really interested in getting it out to people, and that's smart, right? Because I've said like 18 million times to anybody that would listen, any token is the value of it is going to be derived from the number of people holding it and the number of meaningful transactions that there, and it really will accrue to the value over time. But you're paying attention to our planet, you know, staking, you know, it's really easy to kind of mine this token or whatever, right? We were talking about that before going live as well. And I was really excited for the use case, because eventually you need a use case. Because if you don't have it, you know, I think because they've got the same thing that you guys will have, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, which is a massive distribution channel. So you can get it out to a lot of people. And so you're at that point, I sort of visualize it like you have wheels, you have 4 wheels, you got a, you know, kind of a wagon looking thing, and, you know, very little friction as far as being able to move forward. The second that our planet said, okay, you can spend this stuff on a specific thing that is tied to our game, they strapped an engine to their wagon. Right. And if you don't do that, you're actually basically like it's a disservice to the community, because now I've got a bunch of Krown and there's nothing specific I can do with it. That doesn't feel right. I want to spend it on something Krown related. Right. So if you don't do the demand side economics, it's really, in my opinion, and this is, you know, kind of, you know, the thing, but it's a disservice to the community if you don't. And you don't ever have to look at the price if you don't. But if you don't have a use case for it, then that you're missing half of the equation, in my clearly humble opinion. That's a joke. I'm not very humble.
So my use case I've been using it for is to give away. So, and Jimmy was talking about this the other day, and I've used that example a few times too. Seem to be quoting you guys all day long, apparently. But we give it to each other, and so there's something really cool about like a decentralized philanthropy, or, you know, that power where it doesn't really matter how much money you have in the old world. You can give away a lot of a token if you have it, and be the, you know, top of the pyramid, so to speak. So up to this point, it's primarily been used as experiments and rewards for people. And so that translates, like, you know, I still think a lot in the old world because I spent so long there. But, you know, the word marketing, I would say, has evolved into this kind of a thing. And so the ability to cause people to interact in ways they want to interact and to earn rewards for that, to me, that's the best use case. Now, how that goes out and manifests throughout the world is yet to be seen. But we're going to talk a lot about that. And just to connect what you guys are saying about, excuse me, DACATHON. So Corey's talking about the upcoming DACATHON, right, which is going to be mid-March. And we're going to get a bunch of news out about that next week. You guys are first to hear all about it. And we are going to carry on the tradition. So there was the one last year, there was one in fall, which was a smaller one, DACATHON DeFi. But then in the spring, we have the big one, and it's a 2-week event. And just to connect it with what you were saying, the difference between MetaDAC. So the first DACATHON, the DAC we created together as a community is called MetaDAC. And I'm lucky enough to be a custodian of MetaDAC as well as a recent custodian of Krown, which is very exciting. And that means, you know, I have some responsibilities and need to vote and things like that. And part of that is to produce this event, which is DACATHON. And this year is DACATHON Gaming, which is super exciting and timely. And really came about because of Alien World, and we're giving a special award to Alien World. And many people know they were involved in the first DACATHon, and that team is really like the leaders of DACs in this space, you know, really like the pure decentralized philosophy applied to engineering tools. And it's the same team that provides us with the software, the DAC Factory software to use. And so we are super excited that they've given us Alien World. I mean, we waited for months. We have a Krown community call every Thursday, and it was the topic. It still is the topic. You know, we've added a few new topics lately, but the excitement to be able to apply decentralized concepts in a game that everyone can play, that we can just, you know, click, mine, and claim. And if we want to get more into like tool strengths and, you know, trading cards and stuff like that, so be it. But it's really an extraordinary proof of concept. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, just hit 25,000 players in less than 2 months with that, with no marketing other than like interviews, you know. So it's a wonderful proof of concept. We're going to give them an award, and then we are going to unleash the engines of creativity to the community to talk about decentralized governance, to talk about how to make NFTs if you want to create them, how to make games. And we're going to make a game together, just like we did make a DAC together. And who knows, it might even be a DAC. It's up to the community. And we're going to have all sorts of conversations. And now, what Corey is talking about also is that this year we get to explore the new world of the uplift world. And we're going to get tours and to see all about it. And we're going to get to talk about governance concepts of uplift world, as well as several other DACs. Several other groups are either going to become DACs or adopt some DAC governance. And so we're going to get to have discussions, and anyone who wants to come in to those discussions and have, you know, good, productive, respectful, cheerful discussions, please do. So it's going to be packed, and then there will be a hackathon portion also where people can create. You can create in the uplift world. You can create concepts. You can build it. You can imagine it and enter it in the hackathon, and there will be contributing various tokens and NFTs to distribute to that. And last year, Krownlandia, I couldn't believe it, because I put together the concept that, you know, evolved the concept that we had done in the Telegram group of Krownlandia, and we won 3rd place. And Ben from Sense was tearing up. He's like, we always wanted to see this kind of, I mean, I couldn't believe it. So I was super motivated after that. So this year we get to evolve Krownlandia and talk about how it's going to go in the uplift world, and how people can, whether they can build in Minecraft or not, can come set up places and manage a place and earn tokens. And I could not be more excited. So anyway, that's another long story to connect the past with this year, what's coming.
Whoa.
I can't hear you, Jimmy. You're muted.
I got it. There you go.
Right. A couple.
Now you're in.
A couple questions from the audience. One of them was, how long will it last? I think if I have it here, it's the 11th of March to the 28th of March. Is that correct? The 11th of March to the 28th of March.
Yeah, it's sort
so
of like a
about 2
rolling
weeks,
end,
right?
because we just decided that it's about 2 weeks, but we are going to add an Easter egg hunt on Easter in the uplift. So it sort of extends and continues in that way. But yes, officially that looks right. 11th to 20th. How long is that? It's about 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to clear that up. So, it's just to go back a little bit to what Corey had said.
Give away a lot of NFTs. Sorry, go ahead. I have a delay. Sorry.
No, it's 100%. Okay, I'm used to it. Actually, I talked to a friend of mine this morning, and yeah, there was a delay, and that person talks almost as fast as me. So I was like, you got to slow down, and you know, you got to wait for an answer. It's okay. We understand. So yeah, I think to go back to what Corey was saying about like the use case, right? Because I put a lot of thought into this as permaculturalist, but it's interesting to me because there actually used to be in Australia for sure. I'm not sure about other areas or not, but there used to be like these really interesting small communities that used to have essentially local currencies that were like beyond the system, right? And I mean, it was almost like a representation of barter. And if you like, it's a little bit strange for me because like I see in small areas in a massive city that I live in, just this cycle of, you know, money going around this really small area, right? And then of course you get like areas where massive, big, you know, superstores move in, and then there's no money left in the area because the money all dissipates, you know, to the central areas and things like that. So I think, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is one of the things that I like about, you know, your philosophy is you're just trying new things. You're trying to see like what works. You're trying to see, you know, and I think maybe Corey could maybe resonate with this as well. I'm going to put words in his mouth here because I'm sure this isn't correct, but from my perspective, you know, that's kind of what Corey did with his Shipple coin in a way. It's like, I'm just going to build this coin and see what happens. I'm going to try new stuff, right? And I'm sure he had like more, I'm sure he's brilliant, actually. I talked too much on this show.
That was literally the plan. I did not have a plan. It was like, it was strictly for experimentation and because it was hilarious.
So I think like it's interesting to see, you know, what can come about when you free yourself from you know, economics, as it were, and as long as you get back to economics, it's kind of interesting. So that's all. I just wanted to point that out. I think it's like, you know, we're in that stage. I mean, better. This is gonna maybe come across the wrong way, but I think it's relevant. Better to experiment with Krown than Bitcoin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, retrospectively, that's certainly the case, but who knows what's going to happen in the future? You know, Corey said something on the KROWN community call a couple weeks ago, which has really stayed with me, which is if you have an idea, you need to do it today. Like, things are moving so fast that there's no, you know, like once upon a time, we used to plan things for years and months and like, but if you have an idea, just do it today. And I've been having so much fun with my NFTs, creating them. I get ideas all the time, and I try to take a part of each day to create something. It's like an artistic outlet, but it's maybe not looking like art all the time, but super fun and great to experiment with, and people seem to like it. and it gets easier and easier, you know, like shout out to Wax and Atomic Assets for enabling to do all of this, and Wombat for allowing us to send tokens. And I mean, it's just amazing what we can do now, and to be able to help people. You know, there's one of our community members wants to go to nursing school, and I made an NFT called Friends Gifts, if anyone wants to go back it with Wax. But we've been thinking a lot about this, and he's really excited and really into it. And the community wants to help him go to school, and he's going to build a wellness center of sorts, yet to be named, in the Uplift world in our Krownlandia town. And he actually is going to know like health information. So wellness, right? Not medical, let's say, for the time being. But like, wow, just to think about that. Like, think about, you know, how we as a community can really impact people's lives. And I mean, honestly, I'm getting notes and updates about, you know, nursing school and medical topics every day. And it's so fun thinking about it. And I'm like, wow, the community is going to love doing this. You know, we can extend this to the community. So anyone who wants something, a place, you know, of that the community would want to accept, right? There's always that disclaimer, is going to be able to come into Krownlandia and have a place and get people to help build for them, so that they too can experiment. It'll be like shops, but they're really kind of like workshops, because they'll get to, like, you know, you want a pizza shop in virtual reality? Well, what's it going to be like? Are you going to charge for pizza, or are you going to give it away? You know, what is there something they're going to do with the pizza? If you get the pizza, can you do something else with it? Like, everyone can play with their ideas and what they would ideally like to do, and earn from it. And it's so fun thinking it through. I think we might create a designers club for people who want to think through ideas, and a builders club for people who want to build and get rewarded for building other people's ideas. So it's, but you know, like every day it's new, exciting ideas and things coming up. And boy, that community cluster in the Uplift coming along, what a community. I mean, wow. These are I tell people outside, so to speak, you know, these are the people building the new world. There is hope. Don't worry. Hang on. It's coming. They're doing it.
Yeah, I was talking to Brad, who I've had on a different show. He works with a cool trading algorithm information company, but he was talking about Binance Chain is starting to do, you know, all sorts of stuff. It's going to like make Ethereum way faster, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, Binance Coin's gone mental, which is really fun, because I bought my mom a bunch when it was $20. It's like 200 now. So yay for that. Yeah. You know, I messaged him, and basically like everything that, you know, BSC is able to do, Wax and Telos literally do 10, 15 times faster. And they're already working, and they're already working at scale, right? So granted, the thing that Binance Smart Contract Chain is going to have going for it is that Binance Coin is now the third largest coin on the planet by market cap. So it's like sitting on top of an ocean of money, which is going to have a huge effect. But like, it's interesting, is like eventually these little chains are fundamentally working better. They can handle more things, right? So it's fun for the whales to throw, you know, money around in these in these other chains, which is where the capital is. But I can only imagine that capital is going to flow to where it's more efficient. I can't shake that feeling, right? It doesn't make any sense to me that wouldn't happen.
I personally don't think Binance will go away.
Well, on value, there has to be value.
Sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I mean, well, like there's efficiency in market and trading and all this whatever to consider. But at the end of the day, there has to be true value to the people involved. If someone values it, they will show up, and that creates all these other opportunities. And look at your show. Like, I value it. I hear what's going on in the community. It's fun and uplifting, literally. And so I show up every day. And because of that, we, you know, let's work together to get the word out about this. You know, like that's where the opportunity is. And I can't help but think that the flow of resources matches that. I certainly feel that way because people offer resources as they hear about the things, you know, of value. It has a synergy around it. So I'm focused on community value, but I'm glad other people are focused on those things too.
Yeah, but thank you to you and everyone else who shows up every day, and there's more and more members, and like we're really happy. I mean, there's not a day I don't think that Corey and I get on the air. Like, so I actually, like, before the show, before anyone got on here, I was telling Corey about like the crazy day that I had, right? Like, oh, it's crazy, right? And Corey's like, man, it was one of those days for me. Like, things were just nuts. And I was thinking about it, and it's like, this is the first time for me all day that I've actually been able to unwind. Like, get on here and talk with like really cool people that I genuinely enjoy spending my time with. It's almost therapeutic in a way, right? To me. So that's kind of one thing. The second thing is, it's interesting because I dabble in many things. I do many things beyond blockchain. But one of the things that, you know, one of the things that I really like, one of the ideologies that I really like, is if you look at the most powerful companies in the world, or like the most powerful things in the world, some of the best products in the world. I think Wikipedia is a great example, right? Wikipedia was built by people who have jobs in their free time to make the world a better place, right? And I think that there's this sense where, you know, in the hustle and bustle of the real world, people don't take the time to sit down and relax, and they don't take the time to find a place where they belong. They conform to the reality that they're in. And, you know, we live in this society that is, in a way, about like later, right? We work for 40 years so that we can retire, you know? Like, you know, I don't know what my retirement's going to be like, but like, I'd prefer to get like, you know, $1 million when I was 20 and like, and utilize it while I was young, right? Obviously, like, people would probably, you know, blow through it all, and we'd have an aging population that was, you know, homeless. But you know, that, like, the point is like we need a way to feel, I think, in a way, to feel like money can't be the only objective, right? And I think this has been shown time and time and time again. There needs to be a motive for people to, like, an incentive motive that goes beyond everyday life. And I think that's like what some of these communities in the cryptocurrency world give to me, right? Like, I look at, you know, what's happening in some of your Telegram channels. Like, you're right. There's people that are active. They're passing out Crown tokens, right? Right. I look at what's happening in the Uplift Art channel. People are doing auctions and giving it to charity. I look what's happening with all of the amazing builder teams that are in the Uplift world right now. Like different projects, even like that are collaborating and coming up with ideas. I mean, it's just amazing. And when you find that community of people, of like-minded people, even you find that community of like non-like-minded people. Like, I've never played Minecraft in my life until, you know, Corey got me into this. It's like, damn it, why have I never played Minecraft before? Like, it's like I can almost guarantee you that like Minecraft by myself would not be near as fun as seeing what some of these awesome people are doing, right? Like, you know, like, and I could be wrong about this, but like some of our top builders, Corey can correct me if I'm wrong, but like Anders, I don't think Anders was a Minecraft guy, and he went in like full scale, and he just like did this awesome pyramid, this awesome dome, right? Like, you know, and I think this is what's important about like DACs. The idea of DACs is everyone has a say, right? You have this ability to be able to say what you want to do, and I don't disagree with Corey. There's a time and a place for, you know, booting people out of the community, right? Like, we don't do it very often, but I've done it, right? But at the same time, there's also a reason and an impetus to listen to what other people have to say, and to be human, right? Like, to be people, not to be work machines, not to be, you know, focused on doing what somebody else needs you to do. And that might be somewhere where the social side of cryptocurrency actually is a betterment for society. And I'm going to mute now.
That's awesome. It really, yeah, who decided that we have to pay to live on Earth? Like, I'm not quite sure where that happened. I don't remember learning that in history in school. But once I realized that, I was pretty disappointed. You know, somehow or another, it happened that we're supposed to spend our physical bodies, our mental focus, and our time on Earth generating money so that we have a box around us and toys, things that we think we need, and of course sustenance, food. And this bothers me, so I'm interested in experimenting with it. I know some people think that you can't have a sustainable system if you're giving things away, but I take that as a challenge. So when you come into Krownlandia in the uplift world and you get a place, you'll get a house too. And I hear that we're going to have plenty of food for people, which will encourage people to come by. So we're really super fortunate. We have been blessed with the talents of Greg, who many of you know as one of, well, was he the first builder in the uplift world? I think he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, he started.
We're going to get this history out at DACATHON.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he's just extraordinary. I mean, what an incredible person, and his vision, like we can mention some of our history or concepts and he just says, well, how about if we do this? And it's like, wow, you know. So he's gonna, he opened the first place in Krownlandia, the uplift world, called the KROWN Development Office. It's really cute. It exists. It's like a little engineering office next to this big crown that's being created. And so he's going to build the Krownlandia town and the shops and the different types so that it'll be easy for people to get in there and experiment with these. And Jimmy, I've had several people in our community tell me that they can live on $2 or $3 a day and feed their families, and that they have been with KROWN for a while. And that is very inspirational to me. So I have a personal goal of creating systems where people can earn the equivalent of 100 a day. And we were in one of the groups the other day guessing how many years that could take. I think Corey gets 1,000 if I'm not mistaken.
So I have to push you on this. Unless we work on demand side economics, it's 100,000 years. Like, this thing, we can't like at some point, and believe me, the giving economy, I'm all for that side of it, that distribution side of it. I think that's really interesting. Until that intersects with the ability to buy some milk, it won't mean anything. And that's actually not that hard to do, because like with our planet, they created a game. It's not like, oh, do this and then you need to buy this to get something that you need. No. It's do this so that you can enhance this experience and like do something interesting in the game, and you use some KROWN for that, right? And that on its own has been, it's just one we can think of. If we sat down and said, okay, what could we actually do that's going to be on the demand side, on the buy side, we could come up with 1,000 ideas just in this DACATHON, right? But then it creates a marketplace so that the people that are doing this in third world countries or whatever, instead of getting a penny, they're getting $1, right? Instead of getting $1, they're getting $100. And also that, you know, people in the first world can have more fun with this dumb NFT game that we come up with, right? Like there's ways to do it that are completely and totally fun. But until we start working on the demand side, that we're just basically just throwing around paper. And it literally, like, it could mean 1,000 times more. If you want to have something that's going to be worth $100 a day, we have to make $100 a day worth of demand side stuff. Otherwise, it'll never happen. In my, again, clearly humble opinion.
Corey's talking like a future custodian. This is, you know, that's what I hear. I hear someone who might want to be a custodian soon.
Corey is a little bit humble at times, but I've known him long enough to know that, like, on from an economic point of view, he understands it better than most. I'll just say that. I've heard him go on multiple rants, you know, with other people that he's listen to him when he rants about economics. I throw my full I sometimes, you know, dream of getting him to rant about economics. So thank you for that, Corey.
So hey, I just got a message from M Blue. We actually have a meeting with Chintai's head person at 10. So we got 4 more minutes. Whatever we want to do to close out, I got to get some links sent over to him. But I got like a hard stop in 4 minutes, which I was not expecting, but it just turned out to be happening now. So go on.
Good.
Yeah. So I think, you know, bottom line is we're gonna have to probably put out some updates about what's happening. We've got, I guess today is February the 20th, so. What did I say? The 11th. We got about 2 weeks until the DACATHON will kick off, and the community has about 2 weeks to figure out what ideas they want to throw in. So before we wrap up, Lisa, do you have anything that you want to say about like how to get involved with the DACATHON, or what people can you know, where I think the links are in the description below for the YouTube channel. But like, is there any, like, you know, kind of last moments, things that you'd like to give to the community that are watching?
Sure. The schedule will be up, I think Monday, on DACATHON.com. And of course, we'll be sharing it in the Crown Token and Krownlandia and Lisa's Coffee Shop Telegram group. Feel free, anyone who wants to pop in and say hi, that you saw the show. Chances are you'll get some tips. And yeah, I thank you guys so much for having me on the show. It's so fun. I love being here with you guys, and I'll be watching all the other days.
Thank you very much for coming this morning, Lisa. We freaking love you.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you. It was really nice to meet you in person. Like, you're always in the comments, and you always, you know, make us smile. So it was really nice to actually meet you in the flesh, as it were. Well, almost, you know. Yeah. In the glass? I don't know. Is that a new
anytime?
Something like that.
In the light. Photon. We're in photon.
Indeed.
We're in the light.
I like it. I like it. All right, Jamie, you want to do the thing?
Yeah.
Lisa, do you want to do the thing?
Do you know the thing, Lisa? No, that's not the thing.
That's not the thing. That's a good thing.
That thing is pretty good.
Yes. One more time. With authority.
No, I like this one works.
Yeah. I just need that with authority.
It's done.